sacrifices, give you a ride, or someone does this, just a thank you, this and this. They know I'm grateful. They know I'm thankful. I said to the person, I said, have you ever told them thank you? Have you ever expressed, hey, you know what? That was awesome. Thank you. And this specific person, this was a long time ago, they took my challenge. They said, you know what, fine, I'll start, saying thank you and saying this and this. But they already know. I'm like, okay, maybe they already know, but just say it. Just try it, say it. I'm not kidding you. Within a month of that person just kind of opening up a little more, just saying thank you, kind of getting a smile on their face. Youth volunteers, different people started asking me, wow, what got into so-and-so? Man, so-and-so is so much more grateful, this and this. And in their hearts, they really were grateful, but they just hadn't expressed it. They hadn't said it. Man, there is so much that this community and this area needs that don't follow Christ, that we as a church, we've got to be willing just to go out there, and we may not give a thank you. We may not get a hug or a high five or whatever. I mentioned to you this family that we had an opportunity to reach last weekend. And honestly, going into it, we didn't know the family. Somebody in the area did. We didn't know if they would care or if we'd ever see them. But these young people, man, when I thought about this attitude of gratitude, they came to me and said, we don't care if we see them the entire weekend. We just want to bless them and help them. And I just thought, wow, and they did come, man. They came to our Saturday night service. They thanked everyone. It was awesome. And it was this beautiful thing. But we also kind of know what it's like to want to have this attitude of gratitude, but it's hard to express it. It's hard to say it. Let's look at a group of people, man, that had a hard time with this as well. You guys go ahead and turn in your Bibles to Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through 16. And I want to focus on the one that said thank you, but look at some possible reasons why the 9 didn't. Now on his way to Jerusalem, Jesus traveled along the border between Samaria and Galilee. As he was going into a village, 10 men who had leprosy met him. They stood at a distance and called out in a loud voice. Now, why would they have met him outside of the city? Why would they have stood at a distance? If you know the background here, when you had leprosy, which was this nasty skin disease, it looked like their skin was like oatmeal. Don't want to go into more detail? Be good. It was just really gross, right? It was just really nasty disease, and so the priest would deem them unclean. All right, and they would say, you've got to leave the city. You can't be in the middle of town. You got to go to Roebuck or whatever around here, right? You can't. Just kidding. I'm just saying it's outside the city. It's outside of the main city. That's what I'm saying. Do y'all live there? My bad. But so you had to go outside the city, and you couldn't interact and be around people. So Jesus is headed where he's going, and all of a sudden these 10 lepers come out and meet him, and they're going to do it from a distance. So if they see him, Jesus in the distance, they start to yell out, Jesus, Master, have pity on us. So this right here brought up a good point to me. And this makes you go, How many of us are super quick to cry out? How many of us are super quick to say, Lord, I need your help. Hey, so-and-so, I need you right now. Hey, so-and-so, man, I don't know about you, but I feel real bad when I go to call somebody or text them and realize, dang, I ain't texted this person in a long time, but here I need something, so here I go. That's tough. It happens. Life is crazy. I'm not judging. I do it too. But at the end of the day, I'm just thinking, man, we need to make sure we're being conscious of gratitude and reaching out to each other and being the church that God has called us to be. Let's stay together. Let's fellowship. Let's eat together. Let's also be there for each other when we can. So they cry out, Jesus, have pity on us. When Jesus saw them, he said, go show yourselves to the priest. And as they went, they were cleansed. One of the main reason, the big thing of why Jesus told them to go show the priest was because Jesus knew by their faith, Jesus knew that they would be healed on the way. I don't know if it happened as soon as he said it, but it was probably on the journey. As they're going back, they started to be healed and cleansed and all these good things. And he wanted them to show the priest that they were good. And they were able to go back into the city, to go back and do what they wanted to do. And as they went, they were cleansed. One of them, now how many started off? 10. Everybody say it like this. Take your 2 hands. Yeah, you got it, Jesse. You've seen that movie. Take your 2 hands and go 10. 10. All right, there we go. 10 of them started. One of them, when he saw that he was healed, as he's on his way, right? The oatmeal starts falling off, the good stuff, skin starts getting better. Sorry. It's like Walking Dead zombies all of a sudden turning into a human, right? It starts to happen, and they're going, and then all of a sudden he starts to get healed. One of them, as he's getting healed, as he sees. All right, so imagine I don't know if they're running, I don't know if they're walking, I don't know what they're doing, but they're headed. And he starts to get healed, and 1 out of 10 stops and turns around and wants to go back to tell Jesus something. One of them, when he saw he was healed, came back, praising God in a loud voice. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. At the end of the day, this was a person that was an outcast just in general, right? It wasn't smiled upon by the Jews. The reason I want to share this story, what we can get out of this is the person that showed gratitude did not care who he was. He didn't care who Jesus was. He didn't care if he'd already, well, let's say it was a 20-mile hike. He didn't care that he'd already gone 10, 15 miles. He was going to turn around and go back and tell Jesus, thank you. I'm here to tell you, church, if we follow Christ and we have him in our hearts, are we willing to have this grateful, awesome attitude and be willing to see, man, Lord, yeah, right now times are tough, or maybe things are great, or wherever we're at, but at the end of the day, Lord, you have done so much for me, and I'm so grateful. I want to challenge you guys. We're going to break down the other 9 for just a second, but I want you to think about the one person that went back and said thank you. I'm going to challenge you right now. Go ahead and get out your phones and do whatever. Send somebody that God has already put on your heart that you just need to say, hey, I love you. Thank you. Shoot them a text. Don't call them. That'd be weird. Call them maybe afterwards. But think of if someone, as we go today, as someone comes on your mind, they did this actually. Chip, the speaker last week, and I thought about this morning. I'm like, hey, I want to have everybody show gratitude to someone in their life that's important to them today. And I remember Chip did it, and I got some students that fed back and they said, so you know when Chip told us to thank our mom and dad for getting us to convention? I was like, yeah. I texted them like in the middle of service and said, hey, thank you. They said, what's wrong? Right? Sometimes that happens. At the end of the day, maybe nothing's wrong. Maybe nothing specific, but just say just show gratitude. If you are free in Christ, you should have a heart full of gratitude towards Jesus and towards others. He threw himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him, and he was a Samaritan. I just can't get that out of my mind as this guy's running with a 10. Let me ask you something, especially young people. Did he stop and say, hey, buddy, let's go back and say thank you? Did he wait for the whole crowd to go with him? Did he care if he was going by himself or with anybody else? Here's the thing. We're going to look at some excuses and reasons why maybe the 9 didn't say thank you. But at the end of the day, get rid of your excuses. Get rid of your reasons. Just be who you've got to be and be thankful and grateful. Don't let circumstances or maybe it's going to make you stick out. Maybe you're going to be the only one. Oh my gosh, imagine a community where we're thanking teachers and showing gratitude to them. Amen, Chris? Amen. Right? You're like, where are you at? Bring them. At the end of the day, imagine. You know what? This is so awesome. Today's a combined service. There's a natural gap, between the elderly and between the young. But imagine if age wasn't an issue. If style wasn't an issue, if all we cared about was saying, you know what, you may be younger than me, you may be older than me, you may look different than me, you may sound different than me, but at the end of the day, you know what, you did something, I just want to say thank you. I'm going to speak for myself. I remember, even now, right, maybe it's my pride that keeps me from saying thank you. Maybe it's my pride to say, gosh, someone did something really awesome for me, but if I acknowledge that and kind of point that out, they're going to realize how needy I was, or was this and this. And so I pulled the little card that one person said to me a long time ago. Oh, they know. They know I'm grateful. They know I'm thankful. I will never, ever, ever forget this, man. And once again, we won't use names. But somebody was really hurting and going through a really tough time. It was a relationship issue. And they called me and said, man, they weren't from this town. They were from elsewhere. And they called me and said, man, Nate, can I just talk to you? And I said, yeah, man, what's up? And just started talking and crying and praying. And he ended the phone conversation like this. And I just thought, wow, this is crazy. He said, Nate, you want to know something? I said, yeah, what's up, man? He said, one of the most precious gifts, one of the hardest things that people can come up with sometimes, but one of the most precious gifts you can give is time. And he said, thank you for taking 20 minutes to hear me wabble? What's that word? Babble? There you go. Thank you for taking 20 minutes just for praying with me, talking to me. You took time out of a busy schedule for me, and I just want to say thank you. Man, you talk about that gratitude. I thought, golly, how often do we at least say it? Yeah, people may know, but how often do we at least say it? Now, this is not a fact, okay? But I did some research and I thought I kind of came up with 9 reasons why the 9 maybe didn't say thank you. And I just want you to think, hey, whether it was true for them or not, does this apply to you? But maybe sometimes you have a hard time expressing your gratitude. Maybe one of them waited to see if the cure was real. You know, maybe one of them didn't really believe it. They didn't go back and say thank you because they thought, hey, how many of us are in this boat? Oh, you know what? I'm going to wait and see. I'm going to make sure it's real, and then I'll have time later. And once I'm done with A, B, and C, well, man, I've been out of the city for a long time. So once I know I'm fully healed, once I go see everybody, once I can do everything, then I'll get back and thank Jesus. I'll find them. I'll hit them up on Facebook, whatever. Maybe that's the reason why. And then maybe that's something that happens to us. Then what happens? Life gets busy. If you've got a memory like mine, man, you may honestly forget. You may have truly been thankful. You may have truly wanted to show gratitude and you just forgot. One might have waited to see if it would last. Imagine that, man. Maybe sometimes God does something in your life or someone does something that means so much to you and we think, oh no, there's an alternative motive. There's some other reason. Let's see if this actually lasts. Jesus says I'm healed. I give it a day or two and I bet you it's going to be going right back to where it was. So maybe sometimes we doubt and want to see if it lasts. And then by the time we realize, oh my gosh, it lasted. By then, maybe it's too late to say thank you. That's another thing that one of them might have said. Maybe he just said literally, hey, I believe it. I know I'm healed. I'll just do it later. I'll just wait and tell Jesus thank you next time I see him. And maybe they're past it and cross again. One decided that he had never really had leprosy. Think about that. What if one of them decided, you know what? Yeah, I'm healed because I never even had it in the first place. Any of you ever in denial about something in your life? And maybe someone speaks truth into you, maybe someone helps you, and then, man, you get healed of it, and then you realize, wait a second, I never had that issue in the first place. I don't got to thank him. All he did was say what's already written. One said he would have gotten well anyway. This time, whether I saw Jesus or not, I was going to get healed this day at this time. So basically, there's a possibility that each of them probably came up with their own reasons. They came up with their own excuses in their head. One of them might have gone up and just gave the priest all the glory, right? They may have got to that person. So maybe someone plants that seed. Man, I had an awesome lady in our church a few weeks ago tell me that I shared about some past youth and some past experiences I had. And you feel like you do so much for somebody and you try to pour into their lives, but they still don't quite get it. And I had someone say, don't ever, ever, ever forget, whether a student, whether an adult, whether a person that you're pointing to, whether you ever see them come to Jesus or not, you planted seeds in their life. And that's what God used you to do in that moment. And so maybe in that guy's thing, he just thought, you know what? I'm going to tell the priest thank you because, yeah, Jesus may have said it, but the real person that healed me was the priest. Maybe was in denial. Another person could have said, oh well, Jesus didn't really do anything. How many times do we make it all about ourselves? Man, I healed myself. It was that jog. It was that walk to there that healed me. Jesus didn't do it. Any rabbi could have done it. Maybe we think, man, Jesus, you know what? Oh, they tell me you're so great in this. At the end of the day, I think anybody could have done what you just did. There's so many different reasons. The last one that this author came up with, he said, maybe one said, I was already much improved. Man, that one got me. I thought, golly, maybe I'm not grateful for certain things because I thought I was already all that in a bag of chips and didn't need it anyways. And then God's just like, you know what? I have molded you. I have created you to be who I created you to be. But if you don't appreciate that, if you don't understand that, if you don't grasp who you are without me, you will never experience the fullness of God that he has in store for each and every one of us. I want to end with this thought, man. It's actually my exact notes from 2 weeks ago. When we talked about freedom brings life. And guys, you can come on up because we're going to end with this. But as we talked 2 weeks ago about freedom brings life, we ended that in the same exact way I want to end today. And that is life. We need to cherish it, we need to love it, and we need to live it. And that 2 weeks ago, I didn't have gratitude on my mind whatsoever. I had no clue where I was going to go this week. And as I look back over those notes and I look back over that sermon, I thought, wow, if we want to live life, if we want to cherish it, if we want to love life, I truly believe God's telling us today, a part of that means we need to express the gratitude, express thankfulness. I'm sure Thanksgiving on Thursday, man, you probably took a moment to say thank you. Thank you, God, for how much you've done for me. Thank you for this food. Thank you for this turkey. Thank you for whatever it was in that moment. And God's probably saying, man, One day a year is not enough. You need to tell me thank you more. And he's not telling us because he needs it, because what's so cool about God is God knows it's what's best for us. God knows that we will get more out of life. So to get the most out of life, we must express gratitude, whether that's to Jesus, our Heavenly Father, whether that's to each other. How cool would this be? I just thought about this morning, last night. How cool would it be if I asked everybody right now to text someone that means so much to them, and everybody's phones inside our own church started going off? And we looked around and realized, man, this person has helped me, that person has helped me. This person has done so much for me. And then if all our phones started going off and we saw that gratitude, and we realized we're all connected, we're all here helping each other. Maybe something that Chuck poured into my life and helped me with, I was then able to pour into Matthew's life and help him with. Or maybe Margaret Beatty's, man, she said something that meant so much to Miss Annette at LOL, and then Annette, man, she went and shared that with whoever, and then all of a sudden you look around and you see God is using us as the people of God to be there for each other. And he's calling us just to be a little more grateful, maybe just to express that, to say thank you. Now, I'm not up here to say all this to say that we got to do this because we need a thank you, or we do this to get your appreciation. At the end of the day, we need to serve God and be who he's called us to be, because that's what he tells us to do. That's what's best for us. But you yourself will get the most out of it. Last thought, man, I want you to think about this. If you've ever heard a sermon, you've ever heard a talk, you've ever heard something, you know that when you hold on to something negative or bitter, let's say you need to forgive somebody and you haven't done it, what do they always say? Does it hurt the person that you're holding on that anger against, or does it hurt you the most? And it's always, if I got something I hold on to, it hurts me the most. Same thing with expressing gratitude. It may mean a lot to someone, but ultimately you expressing that gratitude, that's going to kind of free up your attitude. Man, maybe you're grumpy as a mess, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness, this is cool. Thank you. And you might be going around telling thank you to people that you don't even know. And just, hey, I'm just trying to be happy. Thank you. I had a week, man, after convention, I kind of crashed, man. I had several days. I'm gonna be real honest with you. I had the laziest week ever of just Thanksgiving, and just kind of like, even the other night, somebody was going to dinner, so I said, we got this and this, and Hope looks at me and goes, you don't want to leave the house? Yes, not when we have an emergency, right? I've just kind of been sluggish and kind of, just trying to chilling, right? Hanging out. Well, then all of a sudden, man, when I was getting ready for the sermon yesterday afternoon, finishing up some thoughts, I started thinking of people that I was grateful for. And don't judge me, man. Don't judge me. But Hope had to take a shower, do something, and she said, the kids are in the room, and I've been kind of sluggish around all day or whatever. And I go into Hayden's room where he's in the crib and Grace is in there, and I'm listening to my Spotify worship. And me and Hayden and Grace, I went from like, to expressing gratitude and kind of getting this, and we had a daggone dance party, man. Like it was Grace can do this thing with her leg. It's the cutest, coolest thing in the world. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, and I'm trying to do it. And just things started changing. I was just happier. It was just cool, man. And so if you have someone on your mind, someone on your heart that you need to express gratitude for, to do it. Jesus Christ has done his part. Let's do ours. Let's stand up, man. We're going to sing this song. Holy, holy, holy. And sing with everything we got.
Why
today. Everybody's got a lot going on, but hopefully you can all stay. We'll set up some chairs, some tables. We'll have lots of good Thanksgiving food and enjoy each other's company. Does that sound good? Yeah. All right, and it is fried and peanut oil. You have been warned. All right, make sure to do that again. Father God, we love you so much. Just thank you for this amazing service. Thank you for this, just your amazingness and your presence and being here in this place. God, I pray that for each and every one of us, you put somebody, multiple people in our hearts to just express gratitude to God, to be able to say thank you or whatever we need to say. Lord, maybe some of us need to take time to thank you and just to praise you and to bring glory to your name for how great you are and for what you've done. God, I pray for anybody that maybe has found themselves just coming to you with all their requests and all our issues and our problems, but hasn't taken that time to praise you and thank you for what you have done. Lord, continue moving this place. God bless this food. Thank you for everybody who was able to bring something and provide and help out and help us all just to enjoy it and have a good time. Thank you for the hands that prepared it and help us to continue to be used by you in a great way. And everybody that's hungry said, Amen. Amen. All right.
The speed letters, those are pretty cool.
I know, right?
Billy, don't be mad at
Yeah, you did a lot better. You won. That was good.
Yeah. They make us small, but I think we do.
This is a
Our neighbors have one.
yeah.